What is going on, clan? Since it is a PS Plus game this month, I figured I would cover Erica for you guys. And this is going to be a 7 to 8 hour platinum. It does have 2 stacks for the North American and European store. And not only that, but you can get the platinum in 5 playthroughs. And I do want to shout out to Velvet for his written guide on PlayStationTrophies.org. Thanks to him, I was able to make this in a nice compiled video and make sure it's short and sweet for you. Now, one thing I do want to mention is don't use any USB saves or anything like that, because we do want to go through each playthrough all the way through. Otherwise, you can basically miss some trophies and you'll make it a lot harder on yourself by doing that, and it just doesn't work well for this game. Now, other than that, just some final notes I wanted to mention is if you do make the wrong decision, you can always do one of those decisions in another playthrough to get a trophy you may have missed. Now, if you do want to hold onto the touchpad before you let go to make the decision, just to make sure that you are selecting the right options. Other than that, I believe I have covered everything, so before we jump in, if you're new around here. Alright guys, so without further ado, we are on our first playthrough. This is the introduction part of the story, and you'll start off with these photos that you're looking at with your father.
At night, we tell each other stories.
Now, I have compiled the video to make sure this is as short as possible. You can pause the video as you'd like and then go from there. So whenever you need to make options or do anything, you can look at a few options in advance and then wait till you get to that point in time. And you can even pause your game as well, so that way it's easier for you to follow along with my options, and then you don't have to sit through a lot of the video. Especially because we're going to be playing this game 5 times, and my god, I wanted to blow my brains out. But if you're crazy and you want to go for the other stack as well, that's 10 playthroughs. You're definitely a lot stronger than me, so yeah, get those pixelated medals. First thing you want to do though in the introduction is just choose the middle picture once you're able to. The reason we're going for this one here is it's just a nice trophy that you can get right at the start. One thing I didn't mention, all of the trophies will be popping at the end credits. So don't worry about the trophies not popping as we go. I'll make sure to let you know when we've done something to pop a trophy, but they will only pop at the end of the game on the credits. Now, the trophy we're getting here is called Magic, and it's for choosing the right photo. And we went with the wedding photo in the middle, and now we're going to turn the right one because that's where the wedding photo is now. And that will be the requirements met for the trophy Magic. Now, shortly after that, we will be in Erica's apartment. You'll be given a dialogue option that we want to choose, which is Let's Go in the top left. I'll have a few arrows kind of showing you how it works. You can use the touchpad or use Erica's app on your mobile device, whatever is easier for you. Now you can just slide over and lock the door once you get to this part of the story, and then choose Help. Now, shortly after that, you will have the option to hand over your journal to Sergeant Blake.
I'll give it back. You draw this a lot.
Then you want to choose the question dialogue option. And again, you could just hold on the touchpad, and then once you for sure have the option you want to select, you can then let go of the touchpad to confirm that. It may be a bit dodgy at first or take some getting used to.
The hand belonged to a Kal Jahar. You worked at Delphi House? I believe you visited.
And then for this dialogue option, we are just going to choose relevance.
What does this have to do with me?
After this scene, you will actually head to the Delphi house. And again, this has been all compiled into one very condensed guide to make sure it's easy to follow along and I'm not wasting your time. Now, right when you get to the Delphi house, you're going to ring the bell 3 times by touching the touchpad. And you can just give it 3 taps. And what that's going to do is give us the requirements for service. So that's another trophy we've earned throughout the playthrough, and again, those will not pop until the end credits. Now, shortly after this bit, you'll be interacting with the photos in the background. And I have skipped pretty much any option where you only have one thing to do, because it's pretty self-explanatory. To progress, you just need to do the one thing. Now, once this phone goes off, you can actually go over and select the phone to interact with it. We then want to choose the Who dialogue option once you answer the phone. I will be repeating the dialogue options with commentary just to make it much easier to follow along. And again, you can pause the video or pause your game, whatever makes it even easier to follow along with the guide.
He's not who you think he was. Follow the music. Find Elodie Carter.
Now, shortly in their conversation, then we'll have the question dialogue pop up. And after we're off the phone with her, we will have the option of going left or going right. Now you want to go over to the door on the left side. And then once you've made your way inside that room, you can go ahead and interact with the desk on the left. I've tracked all of the collectibles and things like that as well for you guys, just so you're basically have a reference point to go to if you're missing anything. But you want to interact with the typewriter first, and that's going to be your first document. Now you get these throughout the course of all 5 playthroughs, so again, that's why I'm keeping track of it and making sure that you know which ones you need, or maybe you missed one, and at least you know how to get that document. Now we're going to interact with the top left drawer on the desk. Inside here, you're going to find a notebook. Now, go ahead and examine the bottom right of the notebook. Now, just interact with the bottom right side of the notebook. And here's where we're going to find our first enigma. After that, go ahead and interact with the top right drawer. And you'll find a key, so make sure you interact with that key to grab that. And we're going to use that key shortly. After doing everything at the desk, you'll have 2 more options. You can go through the gate on the right, or you can go to the radio on the left. And we want to make our way to the radio on the left side. Go ahead and turn the dial to switch it off. And then it'll automatically bring us over to the gate that we can open with the key we've grabbed. So just give it a little flick of the wrist. Now you want to open the top file cabinet. As you can see, you only get one option until you get to the Elodie Carter file, and then you can rip that one out of the file cabinet. Now, once you've opened up the folder, just go ahead and interact with the document and go up and down, and that'll be another document. So this is our 2nd out of 10. I just went up a few times just to make sure it did register, because the last thing you want to do is replay this game a 6th time. After that, you'll be forced to leave the room, and you want to just go out the window to the right. That's going to give you the requirements needed for the S ranking trophy by going out that window. And now once you're outside the window, you just want to move over to your right where the bush is and interact with the spot with the bush, and you'll get your first fox.
Erica.
After that, you'll
Doing, I
be
told you to wait.
greeted by Sergeant Blake, and you can choose the option sorry.
Sorry, I didn't want to wait in there by myself.
You'll then be taken back inside.
Sir, this is Erica Mason.
I'm sorry we're meeting in such difficult circumstances.
And then we
So
just want to
we
choose
can
the
do
dialogue
before-
option as thanks.
It's okay. I appreciate what everyone's doing.
Now, shortly after that scene, you'll be walking up the stairs with Dr. Ballard,
I used to look after you.
and you can just press sorry.
I'm sorry, it was a long time ago.
And then you'll go through a dream sequence, which you don't have to do anything specific for that. And then once you wake up, you can interact with the door on the right. Now, there are a few dream sequences in the game, and some things that just only have one way to progress the story. So go ahead and just do those to progress. And I'm not going to show them in the video just so I don't waste your time, because there's no need for navigation through those. We're all about convenience here, that's it. Now, as you get to the bottom of the steps, you will meet Kirsty, and she is cleaning the carpet.
Not the carpet. It's clean.
But we don't give a shit. So you just want to go straight down the hallway, right over where she just cleaned.
Kirsty, I said you could help, but if you're going to...
Because we don't stop for no one. We want pixelated medals. Now, after that, you'll be in this room here with the piano, and you will have a dialogue option with Toby. And just choose the back off option,
Nothing.
and then you will go over to the piano.
Thought so. Hey, Deathwish. Over here.
Now, once you make your way over to Hannah at the piano, just choose the option as music.
What are you playing?
Here we fucking go.
Shortly after that, Hannah will have a bloody nose and Kirsty will walk in the room, and you just want to choose the option to get help.
Kirsty.
That's going to get the trophy requirement done for keeping the peace. And then later on, you will be meeting Lucian for the first time, and you will want to choose the dialogue option childhood doll. So this is once you're in his office, and it's shortly after the bloody nose scene with Hannah at the piano.
It was the right one.
Just so you're able to follow along, I'll just make sure I narrate that a bit.
Place can take a bit of getting used to.
Now we want to choose the Nightmares dialogue option in the top right.
Don't really get much sleep.
Now Blake will shortly join a bit after that scene, and he will have a question with the dialogue option as well.
There may be some other victims as well that we don't know about.
So we just want to choose the option doubt.
There's no public appeal. Nothing in the press. The chances of this being a copycat are extremely low. Honestly, we don't have much to go on. But Mr. Flowers has a suggestion. It might help you remember the face of your father's killer.
After that, your next dialogue option we are going to choose is unsure.
What are you asking?
It's like therapy. It was developed by your father, and it might be able to help you with your nightmares. It's completely painless.
Then we want to choose the option resist, because they are wanting you to do therapy, so just choose the resist option.
Please.
They won't give up just yet.
Father's case for it to be a coincidence.
And then the last dialogue option you want to choose is refuse.
I'm sorry, I can't.
It's okay, Erica. We understand.
You'll then walk outside to get some fresh air. And if you interact with the fox right in front of you, we will grab our second of 4 foxes.
They're about to serve lunch. It's quite a spread.
As you go forward in the scene, you'll eventually be with Hannah and Lucian, and you can choose the option to make perfume. This is after you interact with the grave.
They used oleander.
You'll then be making perfume, and during the perfume making sequence, you'll have the dialogue option to get matches. So make sure you choose get matches, and then you'll head over to this desk. Now you want to interact with the drawer on the top left. And the matches are on the right. However, we do not want to grab the matches just yet. We're actually going to grab the document on the left side. And that'll be our third of 10 documents done.
Erica? Oh, Erica. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
After that, you're going to choose where did you get
Where
that?
did you get that?
Lucian gave them out for our anniversary, but everyone got one. For what it's worth, I've seen that thing.
And then your next dialogue option, just choose to leave.
I think I just need to be alone.
Now, after you've left there, you're eventually going to be back in your room, and Lucian will come in and speak with you. That's when you want to ask him to leave.
I don't think you should be in here.
We kindly yet firmly ask him to get out of our room.
Sorry, you just turn the dial to switch.
And then he has a diffuser for the perfume here. Now, this is where sometimes the dialogue options can be a bit funny using the touchpad. So you just want to make sure that you're actually swiping left to bin it, so that way you can throw it away. So make sure you just throw it away by choosing bin it. And then after the dream sequence of that night, you will wake up with a petal between your foot or your toe. And that will be our 1 of 7 oleander petals. After that, you will end up in this room here with Hannah and Kirsty opening a present. You then want to choose the dialogue option Hannah. And then you'll then be in Lucian's office a bit later. And you'll have a few dialogue options here as well. Now, once you get to this part, you can choose, is he dead?
Is he dead?
There's no body. But it doesn't look good.
And then you can choose, is the skin his?
Was it his? The skin?
It's not official. But it's the same tattoo. And then there's this. Why send the
There'll
doll?
be a little bit more dialogue, and then we'll have one final option to choose. So for the final one, you just want to choose gift from Lucian. And that'll end that scene there, and we'll actually be back at Erica's apartment. And once you get to Erica's apartment, on the left side is going to be a broken picture frame. So go ahead and interact with that. And then shortly after that scene, Sergeant Blake will bust into the neighbor's room, and you then need to follow him. So make sure you swipe left on the touchpad. It can be a bit hard to tell which way you're supposed to swipe, so I figured I can tell you as well. So just swipe left, and as you make your way into the house, you'll eventually come to this room, which has an option for you to go left or to go right. And you want to go left through the door. And as you open the door, you're actually going to find our 1 of 8 corpses. So this will be one of the corpses. You then want to interact with the left side of him on his hand. So interact with his left hand. It's technically his right hand, but like it's our left. And then after that, you can roll up his sleeve. And then the next thing you want to interact with is his abdomen. So go ahead and bust that shirt open. And then you want to interact with the pocket on the top left, the chest pocket right there, because that's going to have yet another document in there for you, and that's going to put us at 4 out of 10. You can just slide that in and out of his jacket. Lastly, you're going to interact with his face. And that'll get you your 2nd of 7 oleander petals. So he swallowed quite a bit. So after that, you're going to end up back in the Delphi house,
Hey, you're being stalked by a psycho.
and you will be in this room with Hannah.
Is that true? Hey, she's
Now, the
been
dialogue
accused
option
of
you're going to choose is just deflect,
You're sick.
and you will get
Yeah,
your second of the Fallout Girl
they're gonna shave
trophy
off my
requirements. And then after that, you're going to be interacting with this desk or table that's on the bedside. And on the very bottom shelf will be a box. So go down towards the bottom and pull the box out. Now, when you pull the box out, you can either open it or pull open the drawer by sliding left. So we want to slide left to pull out the drawer, and that'll be our third of 7 oleander petals.
She's not coming back. I've seen it before. Nosebleeds. The fits. She's dying. And no one's saying it.
Now, Toby's going to ask to hand over the box.
Give me that.
And we want to just swipe left to refuse. She's going to fight you for the box, and then you want to swipe right to slap the shit out of her. And that's going to give you the impulsive trophy requirement. So we've met the requirement for the impulsive trophy now. And shortly after that, you're going to have a dialogue option. Don't worry, she's not bleeding from you slapping her. And then you want to choose the comfort dialogue option.
It'll be okay.
Now after that, you're going to end up at the chief inspector's house. And in the car, you have the dialogue option, not Delphi house.
What do you think?
Then once you make it inside the chief inspector's house, you're going to swipe down this document.
Does that hurt?
And that's going to present 2 dialogue options for you. And you want to just choose the something's missing.
No, something's missing.
Okay. What about this? We found it in her apartment.
You'll then be given a photo, and you want to search the right side of the photo.
Her name is Mia Green. She was a patient at Delphi House.
She was very close to your mother. She was very protective of her. Sometimes
After that, you'll have 4 dialogue options, and you want to choose the top right one, which is a patient.
difficult, sometimes violent. Her childhood was extremely unpleasant. Your mother's friendship gave her great comfort.
Then you'll be given a few more documents,
Erica,
so you can go ahead and open those and look at the photos and things like that.
the night your mother died, Mia Green broke into the dispensary. She took...
And then that'll trigger our last bit of dialogue options as well. You can then choose the dialogue option, I saw her, which is on the very top. And then shortly after that bit, the chief inspector is going to hand you a napkin, which is a note actually written on there. And that's going to be the requirements met for We Need to Talk trophy. And then you can choose the dialogue option, question.
Yes. Right away.
So shortly after, again, he gives you that note,
There's an
and then
intruder
they
at
receive a
Delphi House.
call.
I'm coming with you.
That'll come up with another dialogue choice.
It's not safe.
Go ahead and just choose insist.
I'm going.
And then shortly after, you'll be cleaning yourself up, still in the chief inspector's house. You're then given the option to go left or right, to the window or to the door, and you want to go to the door. As you make your way down, you'll be in the chief inspector's office, and you will find your second corpse. Well, he's on his way to be a corpse. Still moving a bit there. He's going to try and hand you this note. Go ahead and open that and progress with the scene. After that, just open up the drawer and interact with the picture. And you can just flip it over and then press circle to exit out of it. You're then going to get your second enigma by interacting with the journal that says AJ on it. And that's also going to be the requirements met for the enigma trophy. And once you actually look through the journal, that will be the 5th document out of 10. And then you will be greeted by this woman inside that same room just shortly after that bit. And you want to choose the fear option.
What do you want from me?
I came for him. For Steinbeck. And for Johan. They were in it together. I'd never hurt you.
And then you want to choose desperation.
Why are you doing this?
He gave them his daughter. His own flesh and blood. I'm here to protect you.
And then you want to choose the option murderer.
You killed my father.
I should have stayed.
After that, you'll be back at the Delphi house walking up the stairs with Blake.
Trying to break into the pharmacy.
And the dialogue options will appear. You just want to choose the top one, which is worry. And then once you and Blake make it to Erica's room, you can choose the challenge option. So the middle one.
You said she was dead. I saw her. She was right there.
I don't know what to tell you. There's someone buried in her grave. We have a team out there now. They'll run some tests and then we can be sure. Try and get some sleep. You'll be safe here, I promise you.
The next option you're going to choose is just that's not true.
I know that's not true.
The second option, which is that's not true.
It's okay. Just try not to worry.
And then as Blake is leaving, you want to choose the option lie.
Are you sure she didn't say anything? Anything that could help us find her?
We are then going to be opening the Delphi lock, which happens automatically after that scene with Blake. That'll be our first of 4. And once you open it and make your way down, you're going to be underground. Now, once you get to this part in the underground scene, you can go left, in the middle, or to the right. And you want to go to the right, to the door where it has the red light coming out of it. Now, right when you make it into this room, you're going to be able to interact with the body bag. So interact with the body bag. Now, once you open the body bag, that will actually be our 3rd corpse. You'll then make your way back into the hallway shortly after on that underground area, and you can choose left or right, and you want to go to the left, ignoring the room on the right with the white flashing light. You'll then be in this room with an archway and a table with some glass bottles. You then want to interact with the table with the glass bottles on them. And then after that, you will have a scene where you get your first spy location. So there's a few different collectibles or things like that that we need to see for some trophies, and that'll be our first spy location. After that, you'll then be given the option to go to the door to the right or to the left, as well as the well. And you want to just go to the right and try and interact with that door. Actually try and open the door by sliding left on the touchpad and then turning it on the touchpad, and just keep turning back and forth until she realizes it's not right. You'll then make it to this dream sequence with Mia, and after removing the mask, you'll have 2 dialogue options, and the one you want to choose is accept.
Together we can save her.
Show me how.
It's like a super awkward long pause on Erica's face, but I mean, sure, why not? And then you'll come across a scene where she's showing you and your father, or not your father, but Erica's father. You guys get the picture. You'll then choose the dialogue option, how did I get here?
What have you done to me?
And then shortly after that, you'll have another option once she starts having a nosebleed.
I'm dying.
And then the next option you're going to choose is how much longer.
How much longer?
It doesn't matter.
After that scene, you'll actually be back at the Delphi house, which will appear the second of 4 Delphi locks. You won't be able to get in that way, and then you'll eventually come across a bodyguard or whatever you want to call him, and he'll be knocked out, and then you want to choose the dialogue, show me how.
Show me how.
And then she's going to teach you how to slice his throat, and you just want to swipe on that touchpad. Just give him a good old swipe down, and that'll be your 4th corpse.
He's one of them, Erica.
After that, you'll end up back inside, and you'll be by the desk where you can peek around the corner, and that'll be the second of 10 spy locations. So just peek around the corner for a little bit, and then after that, you will then turn off the lights and then be at this scene with Erica, the red lighting, and Blake will try and subdue her. And then you want to grab the knife, and then you're going to swipe it when he grabs you right here to actually slash at him. Or stab him, it says, but I mean, it's more of a slash.
You shouldn't have done that.
Now, this next collectible is one of my favorites, but first you want to choose the option Accuse.
Policeman.
I thought you were a victim.
And then, hey, why don't we get a collectible? There's your 5th corpse. Right there for you. So, there's another corpse. We've got 5 out of 8, according to the tracker. You then want to ask Mia if she's okay, so choose the option, are you okay?
You can't take any chances. You have to save your mother. You have to do whatever it takes. Take this. Promise me.
Next option you want to choose is Promise, which is the top option.
I promise.
After that, you'll actually be back underground and you'll make your way into this area. You'll see Dr. Ballard with Toby in the chair.
Erica, you can't be.
And if you actually interact with the gun instead of the dialogue options, you can swipe right on the touchpad. If I wasn't so damn stupid, then you can do it, and that'll be your 6th corpse because we just killed her. Now, shortly after that,
I think she's dead.
Kirsty will walk in, and you can just choose the dialogue option defensive. And she's cool with it. She accepts it. I mean, you have a gun, so why wouldn't she? And then you have to actually interact with Toby's tube. So go ahead and rip that bad boy out.
Do something!
Now, what we're going to do next is interact with the mini fridge. And then the medicine we want to choose is on the top shelf, the oleandrin, the pink one. Go ahead and load that bad boy up in the syringe. Rip her top open. Then go ahead and stab her with the syringe. And then inject that bad boy. And congratulations, you saved her. No, I'm kidding. You guys killed her. But that's what we want to do. We want to get the trophies. So, unfortunately, small price to pay. Now, unfortunately, she didn't make it, but that made us closer to the trophy. So go ahead and wipe that tear from her face. And that'll be the requirement met for farewell.
He's gone.
Now you're going to choose the dialogue option defensive. And then shortly after that, you will see Lucian in this chamber that you were in earlier.
What's happened, whatever's the matter, we can work it out. I promise.
Now we're nearly finished with our first playthrough, so round of applause, guys. Now instead of choosing a dialogue option, just select the gun, swipe right on the touchpad, and murder him. And that'll be our 8 out of 8 corpse, which is going to be the requirement met for I See Dead People, which is a nice silver trophy. Now after the scene with Lucian, you will see a diffuser that you light. You want to swipe left on the touchpad to burn Delphi down. Now this will basically conclude our first playthrough. Hopefully that was really easy to follow along. I did condense that a fair bit. That was in about 30 minutes when it's like an hour and a half to play the game itself. I will show you the trophies real quick that should unlock and the order that they should unlock in. And we want to also keep the lighter by swiping down on the touchpad as your final option. So swipe down to keep the lighter. I think I said ladder, but keep the lighter. And then, yeah, those are the trophies here. And they should pop in that order. So make sure you got them. If for some reason a trophy didn't pop, then you can always do it in another playthrough. Just look at what's required and then do it in your second playthrough.
Take a photograph.
Now, we're just going to jump right back into it. You'll get to the scene where you get to choose a photo, and you want to choose her pregnant. And then when it gets to the point of guessing which one it is, you just want to flip over the one in the middle by swiping up on the touchpad. After that, you'll end up in Erica's apartment once you get through that introduction stage. And again, we will choose the let it go option in the top left, or let go. Sorry, thought I was playing Frozen or something.
It's in the past.
And then after that, you'll be back at the door, and when it gives you the option to slide the key lock, you can actually slide it left on the touchpad, and then you want to ask her if she needs help.
Are you okay?
After that, you'll again meet Sergeant Blake,
Promise I'll give it
and
back.
you want to swipe up on the touchpad to hand over your journal. Now, some of these options are the same, however, we do need to do multiple playthroughs, and we're going to do them in 5 playthroughs. So you want to choose the option cooperate with him,
Oh, it's on the medallion too.
and we're already on our second
The hand
playthrough.
belonged to a
Check
culture
this
hunter.
out.
You worked at Delphi House? I believe you visited there with your father.
After that, then choose the option links to
This
case.
is about my father.
Then you'll be going right back to the Delphi house. And this time when you get to ring the bell, you can just ring it once. There will be a long dramatic pause, and then he's going to ring it 3 times, or 7 times, however many times you want it. You want to then answer the phone again like you did before after interacting with the photos behind, and then choose the dialogue option who. So when you're on the phone, just choose the dialogue option who, and then after the who option, you will choose question, the top option.
What will I find?
If you don't look, you'll never know. Find Elodie Carter. See for yourself.
After you get off the phone, you'll then have to go left or right. You want to make sure you go out the exit to your right.
Erica, what are you doing? I told
You'll
you to
then
wait.
be met up with Sergeant Blake again, and you want to choose the option masked girls.
Some girls, they were wearing masks.
I'll check it out. Maybe it was some kind of therapy.
After that,
Come on,
you can
let's
then
go back
press
inside.
the option
I don't
phone call,
understand. The phone
and then
rang,
you'll
it was
end
a
up back inside the Delphi house at the counter. And that's where you can choose the next dialogue option of staying here.
This is a private facility here. You can't just walk in.
I'm supposed to be staying here.
After that, you'll be walking up the stairs
I
with
worked
Dr.
for your
Ballard,
father
and you can choose the dialogue option parents.
when you were little.
You'll then have a dream sequence and everything like that, and then wake back up in your bed. Again, you can choose anything for the dream sequences, or at least for that one. I'll let you know if you need to do anything else. Now we're going to interact with the door on the right. And then as you make your way downstairs, you'll see Kirsty again cleaning the carpet. Once you've made it to the bottom, instead of going directly through the carpet and through the hallway, just click to the left, and that way you can go around the carpet and make sure you avoid it.
Kirsty? Kirsty, I said you can help.
You'll then be
but
back
I
in the
want to
room
be
with the
you.
piano with Hannah and Toby.
No cleaning without supervision.
What?
You then just want to choose the option Confront.
Can you put that out? Does that upset you? Do you want to come here and talk about it?
Come on, Toby. I'm trying to play. Leave the girl alone.
Whatever.
Then you'll be walking towards Hannah by the piano.
Over here. Don't mind her. She's got emotional problems.
And then we again want to choose the option Music.
What are you playing?
After that, you'll have the bloody nose scene again with Hannah.
No cleaning! No cleaning without
And you just want to choose the option to get help.
Kirsty, it's okay.
Then you'll be in Lucian's office shortly after that scene.
Last time we met, you could barely see over the desk.
And the first option we're going to choose is meeting Blake.
I thought I was meeting Sergeant Blake.
He just stepped out to make a quick call. Did you sleep okay? I know the old place can take a bit of getting used to.
Next up, we want to choose the option Nightmares again in the top right.
Don't really get much.
And then later, after Blake joins us, the dialogue options will appear.
There may be some other
And we can choose Worry for the first one, which is the bottom one.
All we know for sure is that whoever killed Johar has taken an interest in you. Honestly, we don't have much to go on.
But Mr. Flowers has a suggestion. It might help you remember the face of your father's killer.
After that, we're going to choose the Unsure option,
What are you asking?
which is on the bottom
It's like
again.
therapy. It was developed by your father, and it might be able to help you with your nightmares. It's completely painless.
After that, we're going to choose the Resist option.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Erica, please. There are too many similarities with your father's case for it to be a coincidence.
And then for our final option,
If we can get a description.
you just want to click Refuse.
I'm sorry. I can't.
After that, once you step outside to get some fresh air, you can interact with the top right over there near the bush, and you can see Hannah.
I'm so sorry.
After that scene with Hannah, you will then be talking to Lucian at the little fountain here. And then that's when you want to choose the dialogue option Understand, which is in the middle.
Lunch. It's quite
A bit after that, after interacting with a grave, you will have the options with Lucian and Hannah. You can choose Check on Toby. Then when you head over to Check on Toby, she's going to sort of jump you, and you have the option to choose Defy. So make sure you choose Defy.
You're a tourist. You've got no idea. This place has secrets. You need to be
Then the
careful
next
what you
option
do
you're going to
against
choose
that
is
world.
Comfort. And that'll be your 3 out of 3 for Fallout Girl. And that'll be the requirements met for the Fallout Girl Silver Trophy.
I like it when you
You'll then be inside after you've cut a cake. and then you will have an option with Kirsty to say what's that, as she's making a logo with her oranges. And then later on you'll be cleaning the chairs down in the lab, and you want to choose the option restraints. And then after that you'll be in a custodial closet with Kirsty, and you want to choose to jam the door by sliding the touchpad up. So now we're in a custodial closet with Kirsty a bit after those scenes.
They can't hear us in here, but they'll come. They always do.
And she'll be grabbing some red tape. You then want to choose the option curious.
Who's coming?
And then later on you'll be in Kirsty's room. Now in Kirsty's room she's taping up this closet, and then you can ask her, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Sometimes they come at night. They think I'm sleeping, but I know. Look under the pillow. You'll see.
You're then going to have a look under her pillow and pull out this sketchbook. Now, once you've pulled that out and start interacting with it all, that'll be your 6th of 10 documents. And just go ahead and scroll through all of them and keep scrolling. And then that'll also be the requirements for Kirsty's BFF, which is met. Nice silver trophy again. And then you'll be in your room with Hannah, and you can choose the option greet.
Crap out of me. It's from Doc Ballard.
So now you're back in your room in the Delphi house with Hannah.
Perfume.
And then you want to decline her diffuser.
I don't need it.
You're hauled up in a makeshift bedroom in a mental hospital. Trust me, this will...
After that, she'll give you another dialogue option, so just choose insist.
It's okay, I'm fine.
Tell her you do not want it.
Do me a favor and
She
just
still
take
didn't get the hint, so she leaves it in there
it. You
anyways.
always toss it when I'm done. Good night.
So what are we going to do in this scenario? That's absolutely right, guys. We are going to chuck it in the trash. So swipe left on the touchpad and throw that bad boy away. And then after that, you're going to be at a party type scene with a present. And you want to just open up the present until you get the dialogue options to ask, are you okay? After that scene with Hannah dropping to the ground, you'll then be in Lucian's office with some dialogue options, and you want to choose, is he dead?
He's missing.
Is he dead?
And then shortly after that,
But it doesn't look
you'll have another dialogue option for his skin. So put, is the skin his, which is the middle option. And then again, little bit later after that, you're going to have one final dialogue option, and we're going to put a gift from Lucian, which is the middle one as well.
It was a gift from Lucian.
Now, after that's all been done, you'll actually make your way back to Erica's apartment. And in Erica's apartment, right on the bottom floor, when you see that the apartment is a complete wreck, you can interact with the journal on the right. Just swipe through the journal, and then it'll come to the scene where you have to follow Blake. So again, we're going to swipe left on the touchpad to follow him into the apartment. And then once you've made your way inside and you make it to this area, you're going to have two options. You can go to the door on the left, or you can go over to where the lamp is on the fridge. So we're going to want to go to the lamp on the right side. Now, once you make your way over to the lamp, you'll be able to interact with the fridge itself or the photo on the wall. But we want to interact with the fridge. So open up the little mini fridge and swipe right on the touchpad to do so, and you will find your 4th of 7 oleander petals.
Don't.
Now after that bit, Blake walks in, and then you're left with the option of interacting with him or going to the door behind him. So you want to interact with the door to the right of him and just go through there.
Shut and wait for me.
Mine was a bit dodgy for some reason, but yeah, just interact with that and make your way through. And then after interacting with that, you're going to find your third of 4 foxes. That'll be all for Erica's apartment. We'll then be back at the Delphi house, and you want to open up the letter. Now we're going to go for another trophy right here, and you actually have to sign the letter or the card with the touchpad. It doesn't have to be perfect. As you can see, I failed miserably because I can't even write in real life, let alone on a freaking touchpad. So yeah, try your best. Do better than me because I know you can. And yeah, once you've done that, that's actually going to be the requirements met for the calligraphy trophy, which is a bronze trophy, and make sure you grab that one. Now after you sign the card, you'll then be in Kirsty's closet after lighting your lighter to light the way, and then you can slide that out of the way and you will find your third of 4 Delphi locks. After that, you're going to be at a hallway where you can spy on Toby looking for Hannah's box. This is our third of 10. So just spy on her for a little bit, and then after that you can walk into the room.
Hannah's gone.
The dialogue option you want to choose is the box, which is on the bottom left.
What's in the box?
And then that's all for the Delphi house. We'll be moving on to the Chief Inspector's house. And the dialogue option in the car you want to choose is not the station. Then you will have this document on the desk, and the dialogue option you choose is that's her.
Yes, that's her.
After choosing that, you're then going to have another dialogue option after looking at some of the photos, and you want to choose mother, which is the bottom left. Look at a few more photos until you get the next set of options and choose you're lying. After that, you again will receive that note from the inspector, which you don't need to worry about for this playthrough, and then you can go to confront for the option to choose, which is on the left.
There's an intruder at Delphi House.
If that's going a bit fast there, I apologize, but just go ahead and pause the video. Try and make it as short and sweet as possible. For your last decision in this area, we want to choose accept.
Be careful.
And then shortly after that, we'll be cleaning ourselves up in the bathroom upstairs. And you can choose out the doorway or to the window. We want to go out the doorway again and make your way down into the office. Now he'll be handing you a sheet of paper, and if you remember that sketchbook in Kirsty's room, it's actually the rabbit that was in that sketchbook, and that is our requirements for the Proud Father trophy met. A bit after he dies, we can actually interact with the medallion in the drawer, and that will trigger the next cutscene. Then you want to choose the dialogue option fear,
What do you want from me?
which is in the top left.
I came for him, for Steinbeck, and for Johar. They were in it together.
And then next we want to choose the option desperation, which is on the very bottom.
He gave them his daughter, his own flesh and blood.
And then lastly, for our very final option for this scene, you want to choose murderer in the bottom left.
Killed my father.
After you've done that, we'll actually be making our way right back to the Delphi house. And while you're going up the stairs with Blake, you will have the dialogue options. So just choose the top one, which is worry. And then when you make it into your room with him,
You okay?
you want to choose the option challenge again, which is in the middle.
I saw her. She was right there.
I don't know what to tell you. There's someone buried in her grave. We have a team out there now. They'll run some tests and then we can be sure. Try and get some sleep. You'll be safe here, I promise you.
After that one, the next option we'll choose is That's Not True, which is the second option.
It's okay. Just try not to worry.
And then as Blake leaves the room, you can choose the option
Say
Lie.
anything. Anything that could help us find her.
After that, you'll immediately be able to spy to your right of the room and get your fourth spy location to see Blake and Dr. Ballard.
It's not for you to know.
What are you doing?
And then you will be at the scene with Kirsty in her room. She catches you in the closet. You then want to use the comfort option. And then you want to choose the apologize option on the top.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
He's dead. He's dead and I have nowhere else to go. It doesn't matter what I do, they're going to take me and they're going to make me bleed. They're going to make me
And then the
forget.
other option you choose is just reassure, which is on top as well.
Thank you. Whatever's happening here, I'll stop it.
What if they catch you? They'll never let
And then our last option will just be reassure again, which is on the bottom. And then you'll make your way through the Delphi lock and then go underground. Now once you're underground, again, you want to interact with the door on the right with the red light. Now once you make it into the room with the red light, you want to interact with the TV monitors over to the left. And once at the monitors, you'll find a control panel on the bottom. And when you hover over it, it'll tell you what the options are. So as you can see, I'm hovering over pause, and then now we're going to go to next. So don't actually let go on pause, just keep going next. And you want to keep going next until you see the Delphi insignia. Once you see that, it's going to trigger a cutscene automatically. And once you see it, that'll be the requirements met for the subliminal trophy. After that, you can make your way further down the hallway and you can choose left or right. You actually want to go to the right on the door with the white flashing of light. And this will be yet another area that we can get a spy location. So this is our 5 out of 10 spy locations. And you'll just be spying from the window, and then you can make your way into the next room automatically. Now once you get to this option, you want to choose left to go through the doorway. And then follow through everything here until you make it into the barn and pull down the curtains. And then you will have the dialogue option with Mia to refuse. After refusing, you will eventually be given another option where you can reject. So go ahead and reject her offer yet again. And then you'll be in a scene with your dad. And if you open his hand, that'll be your 5th out of 7 oleander petals. Now a bit after that scene where you've got the oleander petal, you can then choose the dialogue option why here.
Why did you bring me here?
And then once she starts getting the nosebleed,
I'm dying.
the option you want to choose is you deserve it, which is the top
Yes.
option.
I do. But your friends are innocent. And so is your mother. Your mother had that mark.
After that, she's going to see the butterfly on your arm.
It's why they want you to. A girl stare into the flames and see the future.
Then you're going to interact with the option "You're insane" on the very top.
You're insane.
And then after interacting with the grave, you'll be immediately given another option, and you want to just choose "He loved her," which is the second option.
He loved her.
After all I've shown you, after all you've seen, how can you stand there and do nothing? How can you let them get
Next up,
away
you're going to have the option "You're a killer," which is in the middle.
But they do. And they won't let
And then immediately after that, you will have "It's a hospital," which is on the very top.
It's a hospital. The girls are sick before they get there.
And what about you? Did you get many nosebleeds before you went to Delphi House? You don't have to trust me. But you know there's something going on here. If I'm wrong, then you can stop me. But if I'm right, only you can put an end to this.
Now your final option you're going to choose is "Go back alone," which is the bottom option. And then we'll be back at the Delphi house where Blake comes out into the hallway.
Where did you go?
And then you're going to choose the second option, which is Warren.
She's here.
It's okay. There's no one here. It's just you and me.
After that, go ahead and choose the option "You killed him," which is on top.
He's one of them, Erica. Trust me. We need to move. You can't take any chances. You have to save your mother. You have to do whatever it takes. Take this.
After she's handing you the gun, you then want to just choose the option "Refuse."
Use it.
Now you'll be in this room here with the window, and you want to choose the top option "Get out of here." So you're in Kirsty's bedroom. You're telling her to get out of here after you interacted with the window, and then you want to choose "Just go," which is the third option.
But you have to get out of here. It's dangerous.
What are you gonna do?
After that, our last one we're going to choose is "Don't Stop," which is on the top left. And then we will be underground with Toby after we pull out the tube from her nose. Now, when you open the medicine refrigerator, the mini fridge, on the bottom right is going to be epinephrine, and we want to grab that. We're then going to do the same things we did in our first playthrough, except for this time it's obviously with the epinephrine, and that's actually going to save Toby's life. Doing so will actually be the requirements met for the hero trophy, a nice silver trophy to add to the pops at the end. So again, after that, you've saved Toby, that easy, and then you'll have the dialogue option, "Are you okay?" You'll then need to choose another option and then pick "I need to go," so you can leave that area. And then you'll be back in the chamber with Lucian at the very end of the game like before. But we want to actually choose the option "Green," which is on the right side of the screen.
She told me everything.
Erica. Lee Green is dead. She died years ago. You have to stop this. You have to put the gun down. I think you might be sick.
After that, we're going to choose the girls option in the top left.
You're making them sick. You're killing them.
This is a hospital. We help people. We keep them safe. We make them better. You're dangerous.
And then for this option, you want to choose lies, which is the bottom left.
I don't believe you.
And then shortly after that, there'll be a bit more talking. And then on the very top left, you can see the option, I'm not crazy. So choose I'm not crazy. And we're nearly done with our second playthrough, guys. We're just killing it right now. We only have 3 playthroughs left. And the last playthrough is nice and easy and breezy.
Please. Trust me. Put the gun down. We agree.
After that, you want to swipe down on the touchpad to lower your gun. And then as he's hugging you, you'll get one last dialogue option.
If you trust me, I can make you better.
So for this one, you just want to go over to the left and choose trust. And that'll be the end of playthrough 2. Now you're going to get these trophies here on the left side in that exact order. So make sure you grabbed all those, and if you didn't, just do the opposite to get them in your 3rd playthrough or your 4th playthrough, etc. to make sure you're not missing any of these missable trophies. After that, we'll jump right into playthrough number 3. I know you're not sick of this game yet. There's no way you would be. Go to the let go option in the top left. And then when you make it to this lock scene on the door, you can actually press circle to completely skip that. And then you'll be back at the handing over your journal to Blake.
You draw this a lot.
So again, at that door, you can actually press circle instead of locking it to skip it, just so you're aware. And then you want to press cooperate when speaking with Blake.
The hand belonged to a Kal Jahar. You worked at Delphi House? I believe you visited there with your father.
And then lastly, our final option we're going to choose is relevance, and then we'll be making our way back to the Delphi House. Now, once inside, just ring the bell 3 times to get that scene over with. And then, again, once you get to the part where the phone rings, instead, we're actually going to go down the hallway. Now, this next part is very important to do correctly. So, you want to open this door on the right, and you want to do it extremely slowly, very gently slide your finger on the touchpad. It'll be fine as long as you spy on them for a little bit, at least like a second or two for it to, register. So again, just very, very, very subtly slide your finger on the door. Don't open it all the way. Just open it a little by little. And then eventually, once you do open it all the way, then that'll be another spy location for you. And then they'll be like, whoa. Who's peeping on me?
What are you doing?
And I'll be like, alright, I'm gonna head out. Then you'll be back at the desk with Blake, and you just want to click the top option for masked girls.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I think it's some kind of therapy.
Who are you?
I'm Sergeant Blake. I'm leading the investigation. I'm supposed to meet a Dr. Ballard.
I can only apologize. We're all a bit nervous here. Sergeant Blake, I'm Rosa Ballard. I suppose you already know Chief Inspector?
Sir, this is Erica Mason.
I'm sorry we're meeting in such difficult circumstances. Is there anything we can do?
Now the next option again is thanks, so make sure you just choose that.
I appreciate what everyone's doing.
Come on. I'll show you the way.
And then again, you'll be walking up the stairs with Dr. Ballard.
I suppose you don't remember me.
And then the option here for when she asks you this question, you can just choose parents on the top option. After that, again, you go through a dream sequence and you can just do what you need to in that scene. And then we're going to go out the door to the right. As you make your way down the stairs, you will then again see Kirsty cleaning the carpet.
No. Not the carpet. It's clean.
And we'll just go to the left again and avoid the carpet completely.
Kirsty? Kirsty, I said you can help, but I need to be with you, okay? We talked about this. No cleaning without supervision.
Now as you make your way into the big room with the piano with Hannah and Toby in there, you'll have an option and you want to choose ask for one, which is the top one.
Can I have one?
No.
Here, Death Wish. Over here.
After that, make your way over to Hannah at the piano.
Don't mind her. She's got emotional problems.
And then you just want to select the option music.
I'm doing my best.
What are you playing?
Now, after the bloody nose bit scene there, you will have the option with Kirsty to get help. So again, choose the middle option, get help.
Kirsty.
And then after that scene, you will be in Lucian's office again.
Barely see over the desk.
Now, once you're here, the first option we're going to choose is meeting Blake. Again, some of these options do repeat themselves. So if you're sick of the game by now, congratulations, you're human.
Stepped out to make a quick call. Did you sleep okay? I know the old place can take a bit of getting used to.
Next up, we're going to choose the options Nightmares, which is the top right option.
Killed Mr. Johar.
And then again, Blake will shortly join in, and we can choose Worry again, which is the last one.
All we know for sure is that whoever killed Johar has taken an interest in you. Honestly, we don't have much to go on.
But Mr. Flowers has a suggestion. It might help you remember the face of your father's killer.
And then after that, reading the notebook, you can choose the middle option, which is helpful.
Nightmare's a silhouette woman with a gun, but that's it.
It's like therapy. It was developed.
They're then going to offer the therapy session type deal that they were talking about. And then what you want to do is click agree on the top left. And then that's going to put you in this therapy scene. Now, every other choice doesn't matter what you do. And then when you get to this scene, that's actually your 6th out of 7 oleander petals. Again, none of those scenes matter, though. Just choose whatever options you want. So don't worry about that. You're just going to get the oleander petals. After that, you'll meet Lucian at a well, and he'll give you a document. Once you read that document, that'll be your 7th document of 10. And then you have the option to choose Determined, which is the middle option. Again, after that, you'll be at this part where you can check on Toby. That's after you interact with the grave. And then as you go to check on Toby, you want to choose the option Diffuse.
Following me. I just came to see if you were okay.
You want to be friends? Is that it? It's lunchtime. Go and eat with the good girls.
Next, you're going to do the Stay Cool option, which is on the bottom.
You're a tourist. This place has secrets. You need to be careful.
And then after that, your final option will be to Question, which is the top option. After that, you're going to end up in an attic or a place with Toby. And you want to choose the Challenge option, which is on the top.
Security here's a joke. Oh, Jesus.
And then once she passes the bottle over, you want to just drink from the bottle. And you do that by swiping downwards towards you to drink.
Is it true? Someone send you that guy's hand in a box?
Next, you're going to choose answer for the dialogue option.
Yes.
Wasn't your dad some sort of genius doctor?
And then you'll be choosing answer yet again on the top.
Yes.
And then lastly, you will have a final dialogue option and you want to choose answer yet again. So again, choose answer.
Yeah, I guess so.
After that, she's going to give you a document or a piece of paper. And go ahead and open that to fully see its photo. And once you do, that's going to be your 8th out of 10 documents found. So we're nearly done with that one for the trophy. And then you can choose the engage option on the top.
Where did you see it?
It wasn't me. The girl who drew it, she died. She used to have these weird dreams. Pink flowers falling from the sky. She got nosebleeds. Then fits.
After that, our last option will be the nosebleeds. And then we will jump forward to a scene where we pull down the curtain. This is still in the same spot with Toby. So you'll pull down the curtain. And then as you're inspecting the wall, you will find another Delphi lock.
Criminal temple at a place called Delphi. They used to get the women, drug them out of their minds.
That's going to be our last Delphi lock. That is 4 out of 4, which is going to be the backstage pass requirements met for the gold trophy.
The girls got sick. They had fits.
Then you want to choose the option conspiracy, which is shortly after finding the Delphi lock.
I know how it sounds, but check this out. There's something behind there. A tunnel or something. Hey. You know how Granddaddy Flowers made his money? By trading futures.
After that bit, you will find a scene here where Toby and Erica fall to the floor. And then you can push Toby's hair from in front of her face. That'll give you the requirements met for Toby's BFF, and that's a silver trophy. And then later on, you'll get to the scene where you open that present yet again, and you want to choose Hannah for the option there. After that, you'll be back in Lucian's office, and you can choose the top option, is he dead?
He's missing.
Is he dead?
There's no body.
And then shortly after that option, you can choose, is the skin his? Which is the bottom one.
Was it his?
And then again, for our last decision, we can do a gift from Lucian, which is in the middle. And then we can head back to Erica's apartment.
I'll go check if the neighbors saw anything.
Now again, once you're in the apartment, you'll see that it's thrashed up. And this is right when you walk in, you can choose between a journal or the picture frame. And for this playthrough, we're going to click the broken picture frame. And then you'll eventually see Blake go into the neighbor's house yet again. Now you want to swipe left to follow him into the neighbor's house. And then once you're here again, you'll have the option of going left through the door or to the right where the lamp is. You want to go to the right where the lamp is. Now once you finally get here, you can interact with the picture on the wall. So ignore the fridge and interact with the picture. And then you can actually flip the picture up. And then it'll zoom in through this hole. And once you actually go to the hole, that's going to be your 7 out of 10 spy locations. So that's another spy location for us. And then shortly after that, Blake will interrupt you.
Carl Steinbeck is dead.
Once he's done that, just choose the option Warn on the left side.
There's someone in my apartment.
Stay here. Do not leave this room.
He's going to run over there and check out what that was that you saw from the picture. It'll zoom back out and give you the options to choose between the fridge and the picture. You just want to choose the picture yet again. So make sure you end up going right back to the picture, because once you look through that, that's going to be 8 out of 10 spy locations. So it actually counts as 2. So please make sure you go back into the picture and grab that one. Now after that, the phone's actually going to ring in this house, and you want to interact with the phone on the left. So ignore the door on the right and then answer the phone. You're then going to choose the identity option on the very top.
Who is this?
I've left you something. It's just in the next room.
And then you want to choose the refuse option on the right side.
Oh.
After that, you'll be back at the Delphi house, and you'll be up there with Toby. You'll be in a hallway, and you want to just peek around the corner, and that'll be your 9 out of 10 spy locations as they take Hannah away.
They're taking Hannah for some sort of operation. She grew up in some shitty foster home. Fake depression just to get out of it and wound up here. She wasn't even sick. Now they're gonna cut her open. Come with me.
Now after you've done the spying portion, you can then go in the room that Hannah was in.
Check the bedside table.
And right here, there's going to be a dialogue option, but you just want to interact with the table on the bedside. Just ignore the dialogue options. And then open up the cabinet and get the box out. And when the box is on the table, you can slide the drawer out by pressing left on the touchpad. And then again, as you go through this scene here, once Toby gets a bloody nose, you can choose the confide option, and then we'll be at the chief inspector's house. So that last bit may have been quick. You can pause the video, of course, and you want to choose the not to station option for this part. And then again, you'll be with this document here, and you want to say that's her, which is the right option.
That's her.
And then after looking at some of the photos of her,
protective of her,
you'll then choose the option mother, which is the bottom left option.
Why she's interested in me? Because of my mother.
I'm afraid it's not that simple.
Erica.
You're then given more photos of her, so just quickly go through those.
Broke into the dispensary. She took an overdose and died.
After that, you'll have an option to choose she faked it, which is the second one. And then a bit further on, when they're going to leave the inspector's house, just choose the option accept, which is on the right. After that, you'll be cleaning your bloody nose up top in the bathroom, and you can choose the window or the door. You want to choose the window. So go to the left and interact with the window. And once you open the window itself, as you can see right there, we have 4 out of 4 foxes, and that is our last fox. So that's going to be the requirements met for the Foxy trophy. And then after that, once you go down into the office, you can interact with the photo in his drawer and everything like that, and then grab the medallion. After grabbing the medallion, you'll have that scene with Mia again for the 90th time, or third time in this case. This is our third playthrough. And you're going to choose, again, Fear, which is the top left.
What do you want from me?
I came for him. For for Steinbeck and for Johar. They were in it together.
You then want to choose the next option. That option is going to be desperation on the bottom.
Why are you doing this?
He gave them his daughter. His own flesh and blood. I'm here to protect you.
And then for the last option, you're just going to choose murderer. After that, you'll be moving right back into the Delphi house. And you'll be walking up the stairs with Blake. And you want to choose the option worry, which is on top. And then once you're in the room with Erica and Blake, you can actually do B-rate option, which is on the top. So very top option, B-rate.
Try and get some sleep. You'll be safe here, I promise you.
And then you want to do the top option, which is going crazy.
Crazy.
It's okay. Just try and get some sleep.
And then as Blake goes to leave the room, again, you will have the option to choose lie, which is the bottom option.
Anything.
So just choose lie.
Nothing.
You'll then enter the underground scene through Toby's Delphi lock that we saw earlier in the chapters. And then you want to move straight down the hall. So ignore the room with the white flashing light and ignore the red light. You just want to go straight down, and you can ignore those two. You'll end up back in that room with the table with the glass bottles, and then the door with the archway to the left. So there's a door to the right, archway to the left, and there's the glass bottles. As you're going to the door to the left, you'll actually be stopped because they're going to come out that way. And it'll automatically have you hide behind the table. Now this is actually going to be your 10 out of 10 spy location. So make sure you choose the left doorway so you hide behind here and spy on them. And that'll be the requirements for... I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm not even going to try. Wonderful. After that, we can go right back into the left doorway. Voyeur trophy. You know what I'm talking about. Go ahead and go through all of the steps and going through the barn, things like that. It's all very straightforward and linear.
Join me.
And then once you get back to this part, you can just choose accept, which is the option on the left.
I'd tell her about the past. About a great priestess, marked with a butterfly.
And then after this little dream scene, you can actually choose the option Y here. Later on, once she gets the bloody nose again,
I'm dying.
that's actually when you can choose the how much longer option.
It doesn't matter. I know I'm a monster. I deserve to die. Your mother had that mark. It's why your father wanted her. It's why they want you too. A girl to stare into the flames and see the future.
And then you'll be presented with your final option here, and you just want to choose how do you know that? That very bottom option.
How do you know about the priestess and the fire?
After that, you're going to be in the backyard with Mia, and she's going to knock out a bodyguard again. Now you'll choose the option show me how, and then you will be able to swipe on the touchpad to slice the body. After that, you'll be in the hallway here again as Erica with the red light, and Blake will come out of nowhere. You want to push him away and then quickly grab the knife. And then make sure you swipe at him with the knife again as well. After you get back to your feet, you'll have a dialogue option.
You shouldn't have done that.
You then just want to choose accuse, which is the bottom option.
I am. And you're a threat.
Then after Blake's been shot, you can choose the option, are you okay, which is the bottom one.
You need to move. You can't take any chances. You have to save your mother. You have to do whatever it takes.
She's then going to hand over her gun.
Take this. Promise me.
And then the option you want to choose here is promise, which is the top option.
Promise.
After that, you'll make your way down into the underground again with Dr. Ballard, and Toby's in the chair.
You can't be in.
You want to interact with the gun, and then swipe right on the touchpad to kill her. So again, we're just killing her. So interact with the gun right away. Don't worry about any of the dialogue choices. And then when Kirsty comes out, just choose the option defensive, which is the bottom option. After that, we'll be opening the medicine cooler again to try and help Toby. So on the bottom right, you'll see the epinephrine. Go ahead and draw the epinephrine in the syringe. After you inject the epinephrine into Toby, you'll save her again, of course, and then you'll have the dialogue option to put "Are you okay?" which is on the top option.
Are you okay?
And then immediately after that, the option you want to choose is "I need to go," which is the third option.
I need to go.
Whatever's the matter.
After that, you'll be in the chamber again with Lucian. We're nearly done with our third playthrough already, guys. We just want to choose the gun option instead of all of the others, and then swipe right on the touchpad to murder him. After he's been killed, you'll go to this scene with the diffuser. And what we do on this scene is we want to actually swipe up on the touchpad to breathe it in. So after lighting the diffuser itself, swipe up on the touchpad and breathe it in. Now shortly after breathing it in, you'll eventually go to this tunnel, and as you make your way to the end of the tunnel, and then you'll be at this tunnel, and towards the end will be your 7th final oleander petal, and that'll also be the requirements met for the botanist trophy, which is a nice gold trophy. And then towards the end, as you're picking the mask up, you'll have the option to accept or refuse. And you want to swipe up on the touchpad to accept. And then as you can see right here, we have the trophies that should pop on this playthrough. And they should pop in that order on your credits. So again, they only pop at the credits, so just wait for those and make sure all of those pop. If you missed any, just adapt your playthrough to get them in your next playthrough as well. Here it is, guys. We're getting closer to the finish. We're jumping right back in. We have playthrough number 4. And once you're in Erica's apartment, we're just going to choose the let go option in the top left yet again. And again, you don't need to worry about what you choose in the very first introductory chapter. Again, at the lock, you can press circle to just go back inside, do the journal thing, and continue on until you can hand over your journal to Blake. So go ahead and hand the journal over to Blake. And then choose the option cooperate on the top right.
The hand belonged to a Cal Jahar.
Then for the final dialogue choice, we want to select the links to case, and then we'll be making our way to the Delphi house. Once inside, again, just smack the bell once, and then you'll get to the point where the phone is ringing. Go ahead and interact with the phone. And then you can choose the option who at the very top.
You were so alone, holding onto your father, covered in blood. He's not who you think he was. Follow the music. Find Elodie Carter. See what
And then after that, you can choose the option question, which is also on the very top.
What will I find?
If you don't look, you'll never know. Find Elodie Carter. See for yourself.
After answering the phone, you can go left or right. You want to just go right out the exit. Once you make your way out here, Blake will shortly pop up after you interact with the bush with the fox.
Erica, what are you doing? I told you to wait.
Now once Blake's outside, just choose the option phone call on the very bottom. And then you'll make your way inside, and you can choose the option staying here on the very bottom as well.
You can't just walk in.
I'm supposed to be staying here.
I worked with your father.
As you make your way back up the stairs with Dr. Ballard shortly after that scene, you can choose the parents option, and then you'll go through that dream sequence again, and then wake up in Erica's bedroom. Now once you awake, you will just go right out the door. Make your way all the way down the stairs, and you'll see Kirsty again on the carpet. God, whoever thought you needed 5 playthroughs really wanted this to be excessive. Again, choose the left side, and then you'll be going over the carpet. But we're near the end, guys, and the 5th playthrough is actually nice and breezy. So if you made it this far, just hang in there with me. We're near the end.
I need to be with you, okay? We talked about this. No cleaning without supervision.
After you've done that bit and went past the carpet, you'll be back in the room with Toby, Hannah, and that big piano. Now right here, the dialogue option with Toby, you just want to choose back off.
Nothing. Sorry.
Thought so. Hey, Deathwish. Over here.
You'll then make your way over to Hannah at the piano, and then you just want to choose the music option again.
Hurry up and die, Hannah.
What are you playing?
After Hannah has a bloody nose and Kirsty walks in, you just want to choose the option get help.
No cleaning! No cleaning without supervision!
Kirsty. It's okay. She's right.
After that, you're back in Lucian's office, and then you can choose the option meeting Blake.
Set this place up with your father.
I thought I was meeting Sergeant Blake.
He just stepped out to make a quick call. Did you sleep okay? I know the old place can take a bit of getting used to.
Then once he sits down, you'll have another option, and it's just going to be the nightmares option on the top right again. And then Blake will shortly join after.
Whoever killed your father killed Mr. Johar.
After he joins, we can choose the help option, which is in the middle.
Anything I can do to help?
Honestly, we don't have much to go on. But Mr. Flowers has a suggestion. It might help you remember the face of your father's killer.
After that, you then want to choose helpful, which is the middle option.
Nightmares
gun, but that's it.
It's like therapy. It was developed by your father, and it might be able to help you with your nightmares. It's completely painless.
Then right here, you just want to click agree, and then that way you can do the therapy. And again, you can choose any option in the therapy until you get out here with Lucian. So go through the therapy. It doesn't matter what you choose. And we've already got this document as well, so it doesn't matter. But it's there, and then you just want to choose determined for the dialogue option in the middle. And then after going through the grave, cleaning, and stuff like that, you can choose make perfume.
Okay, perfume sounds good.
Now you'll be on to actually making the perfume. And you may remember this area from before, earlier in our playthroughs. You want to click get matches. And instead of opening the drawer or anything like that, we want to just interact with the confidential folder that's on top of the desk. Now, once you open that, that's going to be our 9 out of 10 documents found. So we only need one left. So go ahead and swipe through them all, and then you can press circle to exit.
Curiosity, Erica. Seldom goes
After that, click the apologize option on the top.
I didn't mean to.
It's okay. I'm a bit nosy myself. Come on. The honor is yours.
She'll then have the matches there for you, and if you go ahead and swipe and light that, that's the requirements for Hannah's BFF met. So another silver trophy for us. After that, you'll have that present that you open, and you can ask the option Hannah when she has the bloody nose again, and then you'll be back in the office with Lucian, and you can choose is he dead?
There's no body.
So this is shortly after opening the present and finding the skin in there with the doll. Then you can choose is the skin his? And then a bit later, towards the end of the conversation, you can choose gift from Lucian, that middle option. After that, we'll be making our way over to Erica's apartment.
Check if the neighbors saw anything.
We are nearly getting there, guys. Just hang in there. Now, again, you'll have the broken picture frame and the journal right here in the apartment. Just interact with the broken picture frame again. You'll then see Blake go into the neighbor's house where you want to swipe left on the touchpad to follow. So make sure you swipe left. And then as you make your way in here, you'll be at the option of going to the door on the left or going over to the lamp. We want to go to the lamp again. So make your way towards the lamp. Now once you get here, you can just interact with the picture again on the top right. And then swipe up on the photo and look through the hole. After that, Blake will come in and give you a dialogue option. You just want to do the warn option on the left side of the screen.
My apartment.
Stay here. Do not leave this room.
Now after that, you'll still be in the same spot where the lamp is, and you want to just interact with the photo again. And you can just press circle to exit once it allows you to. Now that the phones are ringing, you can make your way over to answer it or go through the door. And what we want to do is click on the phone.
They're going to lie to you. They're going to try and turn you against me.
And then you just want to click the Steinbeck option, which is on the bottom of the screen.
Don't worry. He's just next door. Why don't you pay him a visit?
After that, you can choose to go through the door or refuse. We're going to choose the refuse option on the right. And then that'll put us back at the Delphi house.
Hey. There you are.
Now we'll be in this room here again with
Being
Hannah.
Stalked by a psycho killer. Is that true? Hey, she's been after you since
You just want to choose the answer option on the top.
Yeah.
And then shortly after, you would pull out that box again from the bottom shelf on the bedside. And then you can choose to slide open the drawer by pressing left on the touchpad.
She's not coming back.
After that, Toby will come into the room.
Nosebleeds. The fits. She's dying. And no one's saying it, but you know it's true. Give me that.
Now you need to swipe right on the touchpad to offer it to Toby to give her the box. So swipe right on it.
I see them in my sleep. Pink petals falling.
She'll then start getting a nosebleed, and then you'll have a dialogue option. And you just want to choose the comfort option on the top.
It's okay. It'll be okay.
And then we'll be at the chief inspector's house. Now once you're here, you're going to choose the not the station dialogue option. And then when you're inside, you'll be back there with the document of her. And you can choose that's her on the right side of the screen.
That's her.
After that, you'll find a few photos of her and then a dialogue option from Lucian.
Sometimes aggressively so.
Go ahead and choose the bottom left one, which is mother.
Interested in me. Because of my mother.
I'm afraid it's not that simple.
Erica.
You're then given more photos again to shuffle through, so quickly shuffle through those.
The dispensary. She took an overdose and died.
And then after that, the dialogue option you're going to choose is impossible, which is the bottom one.
It's not safe.
And then as they go to leave, you can just choose the option accept.
Okay. Be careful.
After that, you're going to be cleaning your face on the upstairs bathroom at the inspector's house still. And you can choose the window or the door. And we just want to choose the door to our right. And then you'll make your way into the office where you can interact with that picture in his drawer. And then after doing that, you can just interact with the medallion to progress the story.
Hello, Erica. I told you I'd find you.
Now, once she's at the doorway, you can just choose the option fear, which is in the top left.
I came for him. For Steinbeck. And for Johan. They were in it together. I'd never hurt you.
Now you then want to choose the option Desperation, which is the bottom.
Why are you doing this?
He gave them his daughter. His own flesh and blood. I'm here to protect you.
And then lastly, for your final option, you just want to choose the bottom left, which is Murderer.
Killed my father.
Now after that, you're going back to the Delphi house. And you'll be walking up the stairs with Blake, and you can just choose the Worry option, which is on the top.
You okay?
And then you'll be in the bedroom with Blake, and you want to choose the B-rate option on the top as well.
Sorry.
So again, we're in Erica's bedroom with Blake.
Try and get some sleep. You'll be safe here, I promise you.
Next, you're going to choose the Going Crazy option, which was on the top.
Crazy.
Blake is then going to try to comfort her on the bed. You then want to swipe right on the touchpad to kiss him. God, she's so fucking lucky. Yeah, so just swipe right on the touchpad. It's going to be for a trophy later.
Sorry. I can't.
Not too much later, but it will be a bit later. Now, after the kiss, he's going to start leaving the room, and then another option again will appear. And you just want to choose the option Lie, which is the bottom option.
Anything that could help us find her.
No. Nothing.
After that, you're going to be underground after opening the Delphi lock. You can choose forward or middle to the right. And you just want to go forward all the way through, skipping both doors with the red and white lights. You'll make your way through this archway or this tunnel. And then you'll next have the option to go left or interact with the table with the glass bottles. And you want to interact with the doorway to the left. After that, they're going to interrupt you from going that way.
She's up in her room.
Sort of similar to what we did on our last playthrough. Just go ahead and let this part play out.
She was there. She must know more than she's telling.
It doesn't look good, I'll give you that.
Now, after that bit of them going through the Delphi door over there, you then just want to interact with the tunnel or the archway to the left, and then progress through. It's a linear path again, so just do everything you need to continue the story, and then you'll be here with Mia.
Join me.
You then want to choose the option Accept, which is the left option.
Show me how.
Now, a bit later in the scene, you will have this little dream sequence with your father again. It's very short, and then once that ends, you can choose the option, How did I get here?
What have you done to me? How did I get here?
A bit later in the cutscene itself, you will have her have a nosebleed.
I'm dying.
Then you can choose the option, How much longer, on the bottom.
It doesn't matter. I know I'm a monster. I deserve to die. Your mother had that mark. It's why your father wanted her. It's why they want you too. A girl to stare into the flames and see the future.
Now, later on in that scene, you can do the How do you know that option on the bottom left. And then later on, you'll be back in the garden at the Delphi house with Mia. She'll have the bodyguard knocked out. And then you want to choose the option, Show me how. Then just swipe on the touchpad to slice his neck.
He's one of them, Erica.
And then after that, we will be in the hallway back in the Delphi house where Blake jumps you. And you want to push him away by swiping the touchpad and then grabbing the knife with the touchpad. And this is where we're going to get a trophy since we kissed him earlier in this playthrough. Now right here, when it says to stab him, you just want to swipe and stab him. And that'll be the requirements needed for the backstabber trophy. And that's because we kissed him earlier as well.
You shouldn't have done that.
So that'll get us that trophy. Now once you have this option here, you're just going to choose accuse, which is the middle option.
And you were a threat.
Now after Sergeant Blake has been killed, you then just want to choose the option you killed him on the top.
Killed him. He's one of them, Erica. Trust me. We need to move. You can't take any chances. You have to save your mother. You have to do whatever it takes.
Now once she goes to hand over the gun,
Take this.
you'll be giving another dialogue choice. And you just want to select the top one, which is promise. After that, you'll be back underground and you'll go into this lab here where Toby is in the chair and Dr. Ballard right there as well. Now again, you just want to choose the gun instead of any of the dialogue options and then swipe right on the touchpad to kill her.
Toby! You shot Dr. Ballard. I think she's dead.
Christy will come in a bit later and then you can choose the defensive option, which is the bottom one. And then after that, we'll open the mini fridge with all of the medication in it. And we'll choose the epinephrine again for Toby. Want to draw the epinephrine into a syringe. Stab her with the syringe and then administer it.
Toby!
Now after you inject that syringe in her, you can choose the option "Are you okay?" which is on the top.
Thank God. Are you okay?
Emma better.
And then after that, you just want to choose the third option, which is "I need to go." Then you'll be back in the chamber with Lucian.
Whatever's the matter, we can work it out.
And we're right at the end of our fourth playthrough. We're going to just select conspiracy in the bottom left.
What's happening here? What are you hiding?
This is a hospital. Nothing more. Erica, please. This is not making any sense. You need to calm down. You're scaring me. I think you might be sick.
Then for the next option, we're going to choose mother, which is in the top right.
You have my mother. She's through there, behind that door.
Your mother. She's dead. You know she's dead. You're dangerous.
Next up, you're going to choose lies, which is the bottom left option.
I believe anything you say.
You don't have to believe me. You broke in here with a gun.
There's a fair bit of talking at this part, but we are near the end of the fourth playthrough, thankfully.
I don't think this is the first time you felt this way.
Now, the next option you want to choose.
I think you need help.
So the next option you want to choose is I'm Not Crazy, which is in the top left.
Crazy.
I don't think you can tell the difference. I think you need help. Please, trust me. Put the gun down.
Now, as it gets closer to you, you're going to have the option of lowering the gun. So swipe down on the touchpad to lower it. And this is going to get the Hannah's BFF, Backstabber, and Prisoner trophy this run. So that's 3 trophies we're getting. Now that's it. We're on to playthrough 5. And playthrough 5 is magnificent because you don't really need to worry about a lot of the decisions until the end of the game. So you can sort of just watch something else and play your last playthrough until the end. So this is sort of towards the end of the Chief Inspector's house when you're about to go back to the Delphi's house. Right here you see we're back at the Delphi's house and we're going up the stairs with Blake. This is where it starts. You want to press the dismiss option on the bottom, and then when you get to speak to Blake in the room, you want to choose the option reassure, the very bottom one. So again, you don't need to worry about any decisions until this part of the game. You can choose whatever you want. So playthrough 5 is amazing. I've edited it all the way up until this part to just make it a lot quicker for you. You'll then want to select the last option, which is I'll be fine.
I'll be fine.
And then as Blake's leaving, there'll be one more dialogue option to choose. And we've chose lie for all of our other playthroughs. So it's about time we told the truth. So click truth as the top option. And this will open up some new cutscenes and new actions in the story that we need for trophies. Because this will be our final run. We can get this knocked out and be done with it. So you'll pull up to this cabin or barn, whatever you want to call it.
Wait here. Stay quiet.
Now once you're here,
Door's locked and
you
head
can
down.
just choose the option
I'll be back
OK. The second option.
Just sit tight. You'll be safe here. Just try not to make a mess.
Now once Blake leaves the car to go investigate, we're actually going to open up the glove compartment in the car itself. So move over to the left, open the glove compartment in front of you. And then you want to pull out the journal that you find in there, or the notepad. Now just swipe up on there and go through it, and that'll actually be your 10th and final document. And that's going to be what we need to get the requirements for paperwork. That'll be yet another silver trophy for us to unlock. And then you'll be eventually at this underground segment, so you can just keep playing until you go to the underground with Toby yet again. And then you can just choose the gun instead of the dialogue option and swipe right to kill her. You should be able to remember all of that because we've done it quite a lot.
I think she's dead.
And then again with Kirsty, you can choose the defensive option on the bottom. And then we're going to open up the mini fridge again and get the epinephrine for Toby to make sure that she lives.
Toby!
After you wake Toby up with that, you can do "Are you okay?" option.
Emma better.
And then shortly after that, you can just tell them that you need to go. So click I need to go, the third option. And then again, you'll be in this chamber with Lucian. We're right here at the final bit of our playthrough. And you can just choose the gun. And then choose to murder him by swiping right. Nearly finished, guys. We can get the platinum. We're this close now. You'll get back to this point where you're at the diffuser. And then you can swipe up on the touchpad to breathe it in. I will have a link to the text guide as well for people who prefer text. I'll have it in the description. And just make sure that you do it this way, so that way it's 5 playthroughs instead of 6. So this is set up for 5 playthroughs to make it much easier. Now you'll get back to this scene, and where you can basically refuse or accept, and you just want to refuse by swiping down, and you'll be throwing the mask on the floor, which will be burning the Delphi place down with the diffuser. After that, you'll be on the outside, and you can just keep the lighter by swiping down on the touchpad. And that's it, guys. We finally got the platinum. We smashed it out in, well, the video is about 2 hours. So I want to thank you guys if you took your time watching it. You should get these 4 trophies here, including the platinum. And again, thank you if you took your time to watch my video. If you're one of my real ones, why don't you leave a comment below that says, "That's a wrap." Other than that, guys, I thank you again for watching. If you're not a member of the clan yet, you should consider subscribing. Other than that, I'll see you in the next guide.